Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway. Last week, we did take a little bit of a hiatus because we were in London, England, with the 100 Successful Women in Business event and gala, which was absolutely amazing. And next week, we are going to have a special show all about the 100 Successful Women in England. But as always, I do have a few reminders. We like to tell everybody to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel, so you can see Make Our World Your Runway and all of the many GTC success stories. The 100 Successful Women in Business book, not only volume 1, but volume 2 is now out, and it's available on Amazon and Target. And as always, I suggest picking up a copy of these books. You're going to see stories from so many amazing women. And I was just there in London, England, firsthand. These women are incredible. You must read their stories. So again, on Amazon and Target, I highly recommend that you do pick up a book and read the many accomplishments of these amazing, successful women. And every Monday, the Global Trade Chamber magazine, again, you will see fabulous stories. So now I'm going to introduce my guest for this week, and it is such an honor and a pleasure to have her on. She, believe it or not, is a 20-year-old pageant novice. And it seems that she was really born to be in pageantry. She has been seen as a natural beauty, shy, a scholar, an athlete who always manages to rise to the top. She made her pageantry debut this year at the prestigious Miss Bahama Universe pageant. Her first attempt in pageantry, she became the first runner-up and is now Miss International World Bahamas. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am truly honored, and without further ado, to introduce you to the fabulous Miss International World Bahamas, India Davis. India, welcome to Make Our World Your Runway.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my God, and we are so excited to have you. And of course, we're going to have you at the pageant in October 15th through the 17th. We just did a walkthrough yesterday on our ship, Margaritaville at Sea. So we're getting everything ready for all you lovely ladies to compete and come there and have a wonderful experience.
Oh, that's great. I'm so excited. So excited to be on board with all the new ladies. I'm excited to make new friends. Yes.
Exactly. So reading a little bit about your bio, you were a novice at pageantry. You competed, you became first runner-up, and I know you've won several other awards. So tell us about the awards that you won there.
Well, I won the Humanitarian Award. I won the Scholarship Award. I won Best Swimsuit Body, Best Evening Gown.
Wow.
I was first runner-up, and I was crowned Miss International World Bahamas.
Wow, you know what? For the first time out in pageantry, you did a fabulous job. On my first time out in pageantry, I didn't do that well. I had to go back a second and third time to get where you were. But that's great. Congratulations on all of that. That is amazing. And what made you enter pageantry? I mean, for someone who'd never been involved with this.
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I was always interested in pageantry. I always watched the Miss Bahamas Universe pageant and also the Miss Universe pageant every single year. So I never missed a year. But this year, one of the committee members, they approached me and asked me if I was interested in actually joining the pageant, which is something I wasn't really expecting, but I just took that leap of faith and I did very well.
You know what? Sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to take a leap of faith and you'd be surprised how it's going to turn out. And it's funny you should say that because I've had so many women in the past, all the pageants that I have produced. And they said, well, I've never done a pageant before. And I said, you know what? Just go in it, be yourself. Mm-hmm. And it just seems that the girls that have done it so many times, they're so nervous sometimes and anxious and tense that they tend to falter. But here's a girl that maybe have never had done a pageant before, and she goes out there, doesn't have great expectations, has fun with it, and all of a sudden she becomes the winner.
Yes.
So
that was me.
yeah, exactly. That's you 100%. When I read that, I said, oh my God. I said, this is like deja vu all over again, but now that you got your feet wet, I think we're going to see a lot of you in pageantry. I hope.
Definitely.
And I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I think you're going to do very well in Miss International World. We're all excited to have you here, and especially that the ship does go to the Bahamas. Okay, so you're like a fantastic representative for us.
Yes.
So that is amazing. Now, I also read something about, I don't know if you own it or you want to own your own skincare line. Is that true?
That is true. I've always been interested in skincare. Ever since I was in high school, I always was the one to give tips on what to do to get rid of this problem and that problem. So one day I want to become a licensed esthetician. I'm working towards that right now, and I would love to own my own skincare line.
Yeah, exactly. That is, yeah. And now I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Okay. I was in the cosmetic industry for almost 30 years. Okay. And I was head of Lancome Cosmetics for 12 years. I was their trainer. And that was the thing that I loved the most, was skincare. As you can tell, I've got my makeup on. So as you can tell, I was also a makeup artist. But I always told my clients, skincare was the best. Okay. Because the way I explained it is that your face is really your canvas. And if your skin is not in good condition, no matter how much makeup that you put on, okay, it's not going to do the trick. All right. So I always used to tell my clients, start with the basics first, but make sure your skin is in good shape. Then you want to put makeup on, then it's going to look great. But I saw so many people come to me, and not just breakouts, just the fact they were dry, or their skin was very oily, or their skin just didn't look radiant at all. And, they would think we're miracle workers. I said, I could stand here all day and make you up. But if I don't have a good canvas to work on, it's like a painter. Don't expect much. So I applaud you for that because, and you know what? Skincare is really part of medical. And I used to, tell a lot of my clients, foundation and skincare actually go together because a lot of foundation has some good properties in there that can clear up skin. So
Yes.
we definitely have something in common. So keep me in mind when you open up your own skincare line.
I will. I will.
Yeah, because that's and if I could ever help you with anything like that, get you started or recommend you to anybody in the industry, just let me know. Because I still got my fingers on a few people in the industry and I still consult for Sephora. So I think that's great. That's a great platform to have, skincare. And I know you ladies are doing that 30-day challenge, so throw that one in as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, do that one for me. And I know that you're going to be going up to New York Fashion Week. Is that correct?
Yes, next week, actually in a week exactly, I will be in New York as one of the models in New York Fashion Week.
Right. You're going to be, well, you're actually in two shows, and we're trying to put that together because you're going to be walking for Layla in VIP pageantry, but we've also got you walking for Supermodels Unlimited, and you've got a billboard coming up.
Wow. Yes, Mrs.
Yes.
Smith told me. I'm so excited to see that. I've never done anything like that before, but I'm pretty good at doing well on the first try for anything.
Now, there you go, on the first try. So you have a billboard going up, and it's going to be 100 feet high over Times Square. We'll give you the exact location in Times Square so that you go there and take a picture of it. But
Okay.
yeah, it's great. I mean, I believe they're going up starting the 5th. Okay, today is the 2nd. So as of Monday, right straight through to the 11th. So it's up for 2 weeks. So everybody's going to see you in Times Square.
Wow, that's great. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
You're quite welcome. And let me tell you, all the ladies that go, when they see a billboard and they see it up there, they're like snapping their cameras. I mean, it's really great. So congratulations on that as well. See, being a novice sometimes comes with great accomplishments in a short period of time.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, it does. So you do a number of things. I believe that you're a scholar, you're an athlete. So tell us about all of that. Tell us about your schooling and what you've accomplished, and you know what you're doing currently.
Well, I graduated high school with honors in 2019, and currently, as I mentioned before, I'm working towards becoming a licensed esthetician. And also, right now, I'm an administrative assistant at an OBGYN office. I also play soccer. That's another one of my hobbies. I play for the women's national soccer team here in the Bahamas. I play beach soccer and grass soccer. But I prefer grass because, running in sand is a little hard. But you got to get it done. You have to.
Exactly, exactly. I know I played, believe it or not, I was pretty good in soccer when I was in high school. Okay. One game that I had played in high school and I didn't think I'd be good at was lacrosse. Okay. Because you had one of these big things and you had to get the ball. I turned out to be very good at that. But my passion was always, besides being a professional singer when I got out of high school, my passion was always dance. So don't ever get me on the floor try to do any kind of aerobic dance, because there's where I'm going to excel. That was always my thing. And I believe in working out. I think in my next life, if I could live in the gym or be something in the gym, just come back as a, I don't know, something. Okay. A workout machine. That's always where I wanted to be. In my spare time, if you can't find me, go to some of the gyms around here. You'll find me. Or in a dance class. I was very lucky because I don't know, in the Bahamas, do you get Dancing with the Stars?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't.
Well, here in the States, we have a show on ABC, which is called Dancing with the Stars. And one of the dancers there, Maximum Tsiolkovsky, who's pretty world renowned, he owns a dance studio here in Boca Raton, which I only live about 15 minutes from there. And I was very lucky just recently to study with Max. Okay.
Wow.
So now I've got that in my background to say, oh my God, I've studied with the great Max Tsiolkovsky. And I would have to say this. I wasn't a novice at it, but I was not a Max. And he's the type of instructor, within 15, 20 minutes, you'll know how to dance. Okay. He's tough. And he also makes you work. I mean, the workout he puts you through before you even get to dancing is incredible. But like I said, within 15, 20 minutes, you'll be able to dance with him, or you'll be able to almost do your own choreography and have your own routine. So I was lucky to do that. But that's what I say. You want to find me somewhere? Dance studio or in a gym. I'm not hard. I always tell people I'm not hard to find if you're looking for me. So, but that's great. I mean, so you and I have a lot in common. Being an athlete,
yes, we do.
have your own skincare line. Both, like I said, when I went into pageantry, I was a novice at that. So I'm glad that I'm talking to somebody that has a lot in common with me.
Well, Angela, I also love dancing just a little bit less than you do, but I do love it. I do Zumba classes at one of the children's home here. It's the Ramfley Home for Kids, because I'm also an advocate for healthcare and keeping kids healthy to prevent chronic diseases as they get older. So one of the things I do to push that is Zumba classes at the Ramfley Home for Kids. So we do a lot of dancing weekly. They love it. I love it. It's so much fun. And you're also getting that workout while having fun.
Correct. And I applaud you for that, because that's something that I believe in. I believe when you can get children at a young age and teach them how to work out, whether it's dance classes, whether it's a Zumba, because I take that as well too. That's very important because it keeps the body very healthy.
Yes,
all right.
Definitely.
And if you keep the body healthy and you work out, you're able to almost ward off, not everything, but you can ward off a lot of illnesses.
Yes, definitely.
During COVID, when we were on lockdown, and I was just talking about Max, him and his wife gave, for, I would say, a good half a year, they gave free classes online. Okay.
That's great.
And yeah. And it was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And they were doing it, over social media. So I was able to pick it up on Facebook and Instagram. And it was great because it was taking my mind off a lot of different things, especially COVID. And, just the fact that you knew that there was still things going on, even in a lockdown, that you were still able to get up and do some of your own routines. And it was really wonderful. And now they came back. In fact, I belong to their club. They still do classes online, but Max, being that he's from Ukraine, his entire family has been pretty much destroyed. So he
Wow.
hasn't been yeah, he hasn't been teaching or dancing as much as he
Hmm.
normally has, but I'm sure he will go back to it, and I'm sure they'll proceed with some of the classes again online. But I agree with you 100% because if we can keep children's minds active and healthy, when they get older, they're going to live a lot longer life
Yes,
than
they will.
life expectancy itself.
Definitely.
So I definitely applaud you for doing that. So that is absolutely great. And now that you're involved with pageantry, okay, and I always ask this to a lot of women that are involved. How do you really see pageantry? Do you think it empowers women? And do you think
Definitely.
that women can go further with a career after competing?
Yes. Well, my first pageant has been a great experience for me. I put on my first pair of heels a few months ago. So, one of the skills that I picked up is definitely modeling. My speech has improved a lot because I've always been that shy girl, never always the one to listen but not say anything. But now I'm more outspoken. The Mr. Smith, the director of the Miss Bahamas Universe pageant, he put us in a Toastmasters club. That's a speech club here. Yes. So that also helped a lot. It helps with my social skills. I have 9 new sisters. 9 new sisters. So I made lots of new friends. So it helped it helped a lot with my
Yes.
personality, how I interact with others. Yes, and I've also learned a lot about photography, being on stage, how to present yourself, how to brand yourself. All of these things you can learn just from being in a pageant, and I think that's great. And I would push every girl to at least join a pageant, or not even a pageant, just follow your dreams, and you will definitely get something out of it, no matter what it is. You'll always learn something new from every new experience.
Exactly. You're 100% correct. You know what? Even if I always tell the girls when they come into the pageant, even if you don't win one of those 7 titles, you're still a winner,
Yes.
irregardless. You are still a winner. Okay. Just to get up on that stage and compete. I mean, prime example. Look at Gal Gadot, who's done Wonder Woman. She competed in
Hmm.
Miss Universe. She was Miss Israel. Now, I don't believe she even made the top 15, but there were people sitting in the audience that thought she had a fantastic quality. Now she's Wonder Woman. She's made other
Yes.
movies. It really furthered her career. I'll give you a little story about me. One of the pageants that I did, in fact, back in, I'll show my age, but it's okay. In 1996, I was Mrs. New Jersey Globe, and I had won the state pageant. I went out to
Wow.
nationals, and I was in the top 10. And I worked with a fabulous woman by the name of Tracy Kemble. Okay, and she's still a mentor to me. And when Tracy heard me sing, she didn't know I could sing. And Tracy was the type you could tell her anything, but I still had to audition for her. So I did. And she just looked at me with two heads. She says, "That is coming out of you, that little person." I said, "That's me," because I was opera trained.
Hmm.
And from that point on, she always had the Mrs. US Global Awards. I was the opening act. I sang at every one of those awards. I was one of the directors. I became director of the year. I went to them with Greece. And I have always said that woman did more for me than any agency that I had ever signed up with. She put me on the world stage. When I performed for her and she put me out there, I was opening up for big acts in Atlantic City, Las Vegas, the mountains. I even wound up doing a East Coast summer tour for Phantom of the Opera. Okay.
Wow.
So pageantry does open doors. And
Yes.
Tracy always used to say, well, if you're looking for that big prize package, don't come to me. But if you're looking for me to open doors and give you opportunities, then I'm the pageant system for you. And I have to say, she was. Because, I mean, I was even signed up with the William Morris agency, the big agency in New York. And I can't say I didn't get work out of them, but it was never what I got out of Tracy. Okay. That woman just put me on a world stage and my doors opened up. And I am so thankful that I had that opportunity. So you are 100% correct. That is exactly what pageantry does for women.
Yes, and you never know, just from your story, it shows you that you never know who's watching. As long as you do your best, as long as you're confident in your abilities, then opportunity is always out there for you to grab, and you just have to be ready for it.
Exactly. In fact, I took a pleasure cruise one time with my husband, and they had the talent show, and I got up and performed in the talent show, and then they asked me to perform that evening. And there were two gentlemen that wrote for one of the newspapers in New York City, and one of the main actors that was in Funny Girl with Barbara Streisand. And they came up to my husband and they said, "When is her next cruise?" My husband just looked and he said, "Why?" They said, "Because if she's performing, we're booking." So, and then I wound up singing from there because of that cruise. I sang at the Village Vanguard. They booked me there. That was a big club in New York City, big jazz club. So you're right. You have no idea who's watching. You have no idea who's sitting in that audience. And I always, tell people, you could be in a room with 2 people. You could be in a room with 1,000 people. But that room that has 2 people, that's the one where you may get your big break. The one with 1,000 is opportunity, but it may not be what you're looking for. So me, if they ask me to sing with 1 person in the room or 1,000, that's it. Because you're right. You don't know where that opportunity lies.
Yes, definitely.
So, and on the ship, the ship holds about 1,600 people. So you've got 1,600 people there walking around that weekend, and you never know who knows who. And when they see you guys walk with crown and banner, be prepared. They're going to come up to you. They're going to ask you to take pictures. We are going to be working out something special with with one of the sponsors to actually do something in the Bahamas. So that's why we spent all day yesterday on board ship. Okay. And make sure you don't eat for a week, because when you're on board ship, you got food 24/7.
Yes. I know how it is.
I was only on there for the day yesterday, and right away they said, "You want to have lunch?" You go on that buffet, and it's like, "Oh my God, there's this, that." I'm like, you know what? Just give me a glass of water. Because it really is. But we do, and you're going to meet her in New York. We do have a prize package for you. Our current reigning Miss International World, Dr. Akshata Prabhu, she also does training, and she would like to give you some coaching lessons before the pageant. Wow. So I've told Mr. Smith about that, and you'll see her up in New York Fashion Week. So I'll make sure you guys get together on that. She's very good. She sometimes coaches me, but I think you can tell that I have that proverbial gift of gab. So, and there isn't much coaching on the mouth side, but we have Susmita Patel, who's our pageant coordinator, who always has a little hammer over my head on a daily basis. So, but I don't mind, because I basically do all the logistics for Miss International World, which means I do all the bookings, that part of it. They kind of run the show. So you'll hear me say at the pageant, that's not mine, it's theirs. So, but it's always good to be kept on your toes, because sometimes I get so close to a situation that I may not see what Susmita sees. And she may say to me, "Ange, you know what? I think we ought to take it this way, or we ought to do it this way, because it just might be better for everybody concerned." And sometimes she's right. I mean, she'll always say, "Look, this is the way I see it, but the final decision is going to rest on you." And a lot of times I'll say, "You know what? You're right. Let's go ahead and do it." And then it's a collaboration thing. So I'm always, I'm an open door. I'm an open book. If somebody has a suggestion, I'm going to listen. I may not always agree, which that's life in general. But if I don't listen, well, then something is wrong, because maybe I'm not seeing things the way they should be seen. So you can always remember that. I'm an open book. Okay. You can come to me about anything. I mean, I told somebody, they said the other day, you got 2 cats. What kind of cat should I buy? I said, oh, I said, do me a favor. I said, when you go to the pet shop, put the camera up, take a picture of the cat you want to buy, and I'll tell you if I think that's the right cat or not. So that's the kind of person I am. I just recently, something I was a little proud of myself, I helped a homeless person on the street. So
Wow.
if you didn't know anything about me, now you do.
That's
So
great. That's commendable. That's
well,
great.
yeah, I normally sometimes I wouldn't do something like that. But I saw this woman from the corner of my eye, and I saw other people going up to her. And she had this little stuffed animal that she was just cuddling and holding. And she had a cart with about 4 or 5 pieces of clothing and a blanket. And I went up to her and she put this little stuffed animal. She said, this is who I sleep with every night. She said, you could hold it if you want. And I scratched the head of this little stuffed animal. She said, this is all I have in the world. That broke my heart. Okay.
Yeah.
And I took money out of my pocket substantially. And I said to her, you go get a meal for tonight, and you go buy breakfast tomorrow, and you go buy lunch. I said, and you take your little buddy with you. And we do have speaking of a platform, something that I work with, the 211 Crisis Center here in Florida. And I called them up and I gave them the location of where this woman was staying, whereabouts she was on the street. Do you know they went there? She now has an apartment.
Wow.
And she's now
Great.
She's now off the street. So that's my platform to humanity. So I always tell people, you might see me all glamored up, but you know where my glamour is? In my heart.
Yeah.
And and I find that you are just like me. I could tell just by the way you are that you're not wearing that crown on your head, but you're wearing that crown in your heart.
Yes, definitely. And I always try to help as many people as possible, because you have to understand that everybody doesn't have it as good as you sometimes.
Exactly.
Most of the time.
Exactly.
People are struggling, and if I have it and somebody else doesn't, I would be happy to give. Giving, that's one of the main things that I'm proud of. I'm a giver. So
exactly. Now, whereabouts do you live in the Bahamas? Because when Hurricane Dorian hit, were you affected by that?
Well, I live in Nassau. We did not get hit bad at all, but as you may know, 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐞, it was completely destroyed. And my dad's side of the family is actually from 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐞. So they were affected greatly, and they're still recovering from it years ago. Last night we had a memorial concert, actually, because it's been 2 or 3 years since then. It happened in 2019.
2019, just before COVID,
So last night we had 𝐶𝐶 Winings, the gospel singer. She came, she performed. There were lots of people there. Lots of people donated to help with the cause, and it was just a beautiful thing to seeing everyone taking out of their own pocket, as you did, to help this island, to help the people there, to help them recover, because they're still struggling, really.
Yes, they are. Now I'll tell you about the Miss International World Pageant, how we did help when Hurricane Dorian hit. Our news media here in South Florida was covering that because we thought Dorian was going to come up into the States. We got a little bit of it, but it kind of took a different turn. And one of the newscasters that I know very well, Todd McDermott, he was actually showing a picture of a woman on a roof at 4 a.m. in the morning and screaming because the water was just, she didn't know where her and her child were going to go. And she was actually screaming, help, I need help. And it was about 4:30 in the morning that, of course, at that time we were called Bahama Paradise Cruise Line. And I text my CEO, O'Neill and I said, O'Neill, we're in trouble. I'm with you. let me know what we are going to do. Now, of course, the cruise line was sidelined because we couldn't get to the Grand Bahama Islands. So the next day, he made the decision, along with our government and the Bahamian government, that we were going to do several humanitarian cruises to the Grand Bahama Islands to help these people. So I must have called in every one of my sponsors, my markers, and I said, look, these people need help. Reverse the situation. If that was us here, you would want somebody to come in and do something. I gathered I had designers that gave me brand new children's clothing, food, water. I mean, I had to rent a small truck. We delivered everything over to the cruise line. And I went on one of the humanitarian cruises. And when I pulled in to the Grand Bahama Islands, I said, oh my God, this is not the island I know. My heart just went. And I didn't go on the other two, but we donated for all. So my girl, and I'll tell you, at that time, all my title holders really stepped up to the plate, because I said, ladies, this is where we have our pageant. I said, please don't make me come after you. We have to do this. I did not have, even my sponsors, not one person say no. And I even had people that donated money. And in fact, our CEO, 𝐒𝐿𝐿, he was honored by the United States government for doing that. In fact, we just got him the Lifetime Presidential Award for doing something like that. So, the Bahamas has been very good to me. Okay. And I love the Grand Bahamas. I love Nassau. In fact, every time I go to Nassau, I'm like the last call getting back on the ship. The Bahamas has always been, and not because you're from there, but I've traveled a lot in the Bahamas. It's always been one of my favorites. I just love that island. I love the people. I love the ambiance about it. And I just felt, because my pageant goes there and I know a lot of people there, it was very near and dear to my heart. So I was going to just do whatever I needed to do to help. So, and I'm just so glad. I know that people are still struggling there. I see it.
Yeah.
I have people writing to me from the Bahamas and saying, and I said, look, our government is still trying to send money there. So that's the reason why we continue to do our pageant with Bahamas and Margaritaville at sea, because we know that our tourist dollars are helping.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you so much for that on behalf of my country, really. I'm sure I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody else does. And I'm happy
Yes.
that, yes, I'm happy that you have the heart to do something like that, because
Yes.
most people wouldn't even blink.
No, there were a lot of people that didn't blink, but we had a great newscaster, and he's still with our local news, Todd McDermott. And I became friends with Todd when he did that story on the Bahamas, and he was on the humanitarian cruise. And I said to him, I said, no one could have ever done a story like that. I mean, he showed what people were really going through, and how the poverty that was going on, because the island was destroyed and flights weren't going in. So the tourist dollars weren't really coming in. I mean, the Grand 𝐒𝐿 is a beautiful hotel on the Grand Bahama. That's one of my favorites. I know there's Viva Wyndham, but I love the Grand 𝐒𝐿. And I know they were shut down for such a long time. And then, of course, COVID hit. I mean, it's just been one thing after the other. So I think that the tourism still needs to go there. People just need to go back and really help the country, because let's face it, where I live here in Palm Beach, if you look on the map and you go this way, there's the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Okay. I could fly to the Bahamas in less than 30 minutes. Okay. And the ship, the next day, we are there. So I think and I definitely want you to meet Ms. Carmel Churchill. Carmel Churchill she used to work for the Bahamas government. She used to be in their public relations, but now she started her own company. And Carmel and I, when I did this humanitarian cruise, she thanked me. And in fact, at the time, we had a Miss Bahamas, Jarrell Strahan. Okay. She was our Miss Bahamas at the time. But I want you to meet Carmel, because she's someone that you could work with throughout the year. And she loves to do humanitarian things and things like you're doing. She would definitely get involved. So it's, we're going to be great friends for the next year. Let's put it that way and beyond that. So, yesterday, when I told the ship, I said, we have a Miss Bahamas coming on board. Our cruise director was very excited about that. So was our hotel director. So I think you're going to be the queen of the ship.
I'm so excited to see everything. Every time I hear you talk about it, it's always great things to look forward to.
It is. It's great things. So you've done so many great things. And now this is a big accomplishment for you. By that way, the crown looks beautiful on you. I always tell the girls, put the crown up this way because it looks great, but it does look amazing. And I'll give you another opportunity, and you probably heard me say it while we're backstage. I just came off of a very successful trip in London, the 100 Successful Women in Business, who actually is one of the producers of the show, along with the Global Trade Chamber and our producer, Ron. And this is something that you ladies will have an opportunity. In fact, Britt Ofanowski, who you'll meet next week up in New York, who's our Miss International World Petite, she was with me in London, and she participated in the fashion show. And when you go to these international events, you have a chance to meet women from around the world.
Yeah.
And you hear their success stories, you hear their failures, but then you hear the success stories. And we did a phenomenal fashion show there. So it's another opportunity that you women will have through 100 Successful Women in Business and the Global Trade Chamber, because you'll have an opportunity to maybe get on some of these events. And as a matter of fact, going out there, one of the ladies, and because we have a classic division for women like her, 31 and over, she enjoyed so much what we were doing, she signed up for the pageant yesterday.
Wow.
Yep. So going out to England. And I believe we also have a Miss Sweden, because one of the girls that was in the fashion show said, you know what? I love what you do. She said, you have a Miss Sweden? I said, no, not as of yet. She said, I think I'm in. So I'm doing a conversation with her next week. So again, there's opportunities there. So it's when you connect with Miss International World, just as we said, make our world your runway, you are going to be connecting with the world. So, but enough about me. What are your future goals there, Miss India?
Well, in pageantry, I'd love to become more aware of course, I know what it's about now, but I've just started, and I know there's so much more for me to learn, as always, especially now because I'm pretty new to this. So I'm so excited to learn more about it. I think, well, not think, I know I'm going to do really well at this pageant. So I'm looking forward to that. As I mentioned before, I'm looking to become a licensed esthetician soon. So that's another one of my goals. And also, I want to do more work with more children's homes. That's another thing that I've become very interested in. I've visited 2 so far this year. So, and I think we have a few more here. I know we do. So I want to eventually have something done at each children's home.
Yes,
they
fantastic.
mentioned to me that they're looking to do so much, especially in pageantry. There are girls there that are interested in that. So I'm looking forward to help out with that. Some people interested in sports, some people interested in photography, and so much different things that these kids don't have access to because of their situation. And that's something that I can definitely help with. So I'm looking forward to do more work with that as well.
And you'll be fantastic of that. And I will definitely, if hopefully before this year is up, but definitely the first of the year, get over to the Bahamas. I would definitely like to do some events with you because, like I said, I love all the Bahamas, and we can definitely set something up there. I think would be absolutely amazing. And I know that the Global Trade Chamber and 100 Successful Women in Business are looking to do something in the Bahamas, probably an expo. So I think this would be just amazing to absolutely partner up. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, we are getting very, very excited about the pageant coming up. You're going to see a lot more. I know it's a lot of work, but keep up with the group chat because 𝐮𝐿 puts a lot of things in there. You know, you have the 30-day challenge coming up, and you have some
Yes.
great platforms to work on that 30-day challenge. And I'm very excited to meet you and meet your whole staff in October. I will let you know that that weekend you might see 𝐮𝐿 and I a little crazy. It's only because we're running around with so many different things. And as 𝐮𝐿 said, you may not see the side of us that you always see, but it's only because we're in show mode. All right.
Yes.
But once we get going, the old pleasant self comes back. And we do have some very important VIPs. We are doing a special luncheon. I'm not supposed to let the cat out of the bag, but I will. We have a few people from the White House that work with the White House that will be attending.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm proud to say, I don't always say it, but I was given the Lifetime Achievement Award by President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris for all the empowerment that I do for women. So
Wow, that's great.
I was very
well
proud of that. Yes. So I gotta keep up the reputation. I gotta keep up the pace. So, but I want to thank you so very, very much for making time to be on Make Our World Your Runway. And this is not going to be the last. I'm sure we're going to see a lot on the show, and we are definitely going to be working together. And welcome to our family. And once again, we look forward to having you October 15th to the 17th, Margaritaville-on-Sea, when we will kick off Miss International World Pageant for 2022. So thank you so much, India.
Yes, thank you for having me. It was such a great time. I had fun learning more about you because I always see this face and this beautiful face, and you know, I've never met you in person. So I'm excited to meet you on the cruise, and also all of the other staff, all of the other coordinators. I'm excited to meet my new pageant sisters. Just getting more and more sisters. Yes.
And remember, when you're in New York and you see your billboard, send me the live picture.
Yes, I will. I will right away.
And we will promote that. All right. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous day, a fabulous weekend, and we're going to see you very soon.
You too. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you so much. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A great lady, our current reigning Miss International World Bahamas. And of course, every week we always have a spectacular guest. But next week, stay tuned because we are going to have a recap of the 100 successful women in business from London. So thank you so much for tuning in to Make Our World Your Runway. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you again.